All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful mental framework, one that can help you transform your inner dialogue from, a self-sabotaging trap into a goal-smashing target.
So let's just start with a fundamental truth, something we all kind of know deep down. The most consistent, the most persuasive, and honestly, the most influential voice in your entire life is the one inside your own head. It's there when you wake up, and it's there when you go to sleep.
But what happens when that voice, instead of being your biggest cheerleader, is actually working against you? This happens a lot when we're trying to improve ourselves, say getting back into a fitness routine, and it can create this negative loop that is just so hard to break out of.
And that leads us to what might just be the two most powerful words in the entire English language. See, our brains are wired in a way that whatever follows I am, it takes that as the absolute truth. It doesn't just describe your reality, it literally creates it.
So when we step into something challenging, like a new workout program, that inner voice often defaults to what we can call a trap mindset. It just zeroes in on all the things we think we can't do, right? It reinforces our weaknesses, and pretty soon it turns them into these fixed, unchangeable identities.
Okay, so let's get really clear on this. There are two opposing mindsets that basically determine our success. On one side, you've got the trap mindset, which, well, it keeps you stuck. And on the other, you have the target mindset, which is all about moving forward.
Let's break this down a bit. The trap mindset, it's all limitations, all negatives. I can't, I suck, don't do this. But just look at how the target mindset flips the script. It reframes those exact same feelings toward growth. Just adding that one little word, yet, implies a future where you can. Saying, I'm learning, turns a failure into a process. And remember to go, that gives your brain a positive, clear command to follow.
Now, you're probably thinking, okay, well, telling myself don't do something is helpful, right? Like don't eat that cookie or don't miss my workout. But our brains, they're wired in a really peculiar way that actually makes that whole strategy backfire.
Okay, let's try a quick experiment right now. For the next, say, 5 seconds, I want you to try your absolute hardest not to picture a bright pink elephant balancing on a unicycle. Don't think about it.
So you're thinking about it, aren't you? Of course you are. It's almost impossible not to. That's because our brains really struggle to process a negative command. The word don't isn't an action, so our brain just hops right over it and grabs onto the main event, pink elephant.
And believe me, this isn't just a fun little mind game. There's a true story that shows this perfectly. Someone was thawing burgers in a sink and told themselves, don't forget to turn off the tap. Well, guess what the brain heard? Forget to turn off the tap. The result was a totally flooded basement gym, ankle-deep water, all from one don't thought.
So here's the solution, and it's so important. We have to state our instructions to ourselves positively. Instead of don't forget, that simple switch to remember to turn off the tap would have saved the day. It gives your brain a clear, positive target to aim for.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because these thoughts aren't just abstract ideas floating around in your head. They kick off a powerful, immediate, and physical chain reaction that goes through your entire body.
The whole reason this cycle happens is because your brain, and this is wild, it doesn't really know the difference between a real, physical threat and a negative, imagined one. A trap thought like, I look so out of place here, can trigger the exact same fight-or-flight response as seeing a bear in the woods.
Okay, so let's walk through how this plays out. It starts with that one single trap thought. That thought triggers a wave of negative emotions, shame, feeling insecure. And then those emotions cause your body to physically react. Your muscles get tight, your heart starts pounding, your breathing gets shallow. Now, how well do you think you can work out when you're in that state? Your performance is shot before you've even lifted a single weight. Okay, but here is the fantastic news. We are not stuck with this. Not at all. We actually have the power to break this cycle and, if we practice, to literally rewire the pathways in our brains for success.
Now, the key here isn't to try and stop negative thoughts from ever showing up. I mean, that's pretty much impossible, right? The real skill, the real power, is in what you do next. You might not control that first automatic thought, but you are 100% in control of the second one. And this is what that practice looks like in the real world. You catch that first trap thought, I'm so out of shape, and you immediately, consciously follow it up with the target thought, but I'm here. You hear that voice say, I can't do this, and you deliberately add that one powerful word, yet.
I want you to think of it like there are two roads in your brain. One road is the trap mindset. It's like a big, wide, paved highway because you've used it so much. The other road, the target mindset, is just a tiny, overgrown dirt path. Every single time you reframe a thought, it's like a rep for your brain. You're widening that new road, and at the same time, the old highway starts to get overgrown from disuse.
You know, there's this amazing metaphor from a Serbian boxing champion that just nails this whole idea. She was told that it's totally okay to feel those butterflies in your stomach, that nervous, anxious energy. The goal is not to make them go away.
And this, right here, is the final piece of the puzzle. Your job is to get those butterflies flying in formation. The physical sensation of anxiety is almost identical to the feeling of excitement. By changing your thoughts, you can actually channel all that nervous energy into focused, productive fuel and aim it right at your target.
So as we wrap this up, the question isn't whether or not you're going to talk to yourself. You are. That's a given. The real question is, what are you going to say? Knowing the incredible power your inner voice has to either trap you or to launch you forward, what are you going to choose to tell yourself today?